So if you haven't planned your summer vacation yet, there is still time. Allison Umbricht is a travel expert and the author of The Mom's Guide to Traveling with Kids and Romantic Weekends in Europe. She's here with some summer travel tips. Allison, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
So it's not too late to plan, right? You could still do this?
You can still do this, definitely.
And a lot of people like to head to the beach in the summertime.
Yes.
Let's start with that.
Yes. I usually like to recommend the first step, if someone wants to go to the beach, to consider renting a house. I think it's a great option. It's a low-cost option, especially if you're in big groups or a family reunion, that kind of thing. I think renting a house is a good idea.
I mean, I guess that means you'd have to prepare your own foods, prepare your foods, and clean up after yourself.
Yes, you do. But I mean, especially if you're traveling with families, it's nice not to have to go out to eat every single time. It's nice to have space for the kids to play in, or just to even, you know, if you're not traveling with kids, just to relax in.
That's true. And are there websites we could find homes to rent?
There are. My favorite website it's called vrbo.com. It stands for Vacation Rental by Owner, and they've got tons and tons of properties on there. And my one recommendation is, if you're going to go through VRBO, is to really do your research. You can also go rent through a rental agency, or I do recommend using a travel agent as well. But listings on VRBO can be deceiving, so you really want to do your research.
So it might look good in the picture, but you don't really know what you're walking into.
Exactly. And it may say ocean view, but it may be 10 blocks from the beach. So you really want to make sure.
All right. Let's talk about the actual trip getting to the beach. Sometimes these could be lengthy car rides.
Yes. Yes, this may sound obvious, but prepare your car for your trip. Get your car checked out, get a new oil change, fill it up with gas, make sure it's all ready for your trip, because the last thing you want to do is be stuck on the side of the road.
I gotta tell you, when I would travel with my family, my brother and I would just kill each other in the car.
Yeah.
What do you do in that case? How do you occupy the kids?
Well, that's a good idea. The whole DVD player is definitely a lifesaver sometimes. And you know, these days with the iPad and with iPods and that kind of thing, I think you can really
entertain everybody, right? You say it's important to prepare your house for the trip.
Yes. And this may be something you don't normally think of, but empty your refrigerator, take out your trash, that kind of thing. You don't want to come home to a stinky house. Have a neighbor get your mail or stop your mail, and have a neighbor check on your house. Give them the information where you're going to stay and your contact information. So in case there's an emergency, they know where to contact you. And
I'm assuming if you're renting a house, you probably could bring your pets along if that's something you wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely pet-friendly house options, so that's definitely an option.
All right, and while booking, you say be flexible.
While
traveling,
be flexible. And this really refers to car trips.
Oh, okay.
A lot of rental houses will be from Saturday to Saturday. And a lot of people leaving the cities will go out Friday night or Saturday. If you can, try and avoid traveling on those days. Travel midweek if you can. If you can't, plan your trip smartly, in the sense that don't leave at rush hour. And if you're traveling from here and you're going through Washington, D.C., say you're going down to the Outer Banks, make sure you're not in Washington, D.C. at rush hour. So.
Good point. Let's talk about some locations. You mentioned the Outer Banks.
Yes.
What other beaches are great for summertime?
I think some of the other beaches that are great, there's some great beaches in Rhode Island. I think Maine, Ogunquit, Maine is a great option for families, I think. Of course, a lot of people go to the Cape, which is also a great option. I also like to recommend Lake George. It's not the ocean, but it's a lake where you can do a lot of other activities like boating and kayaking and that kind of thing. So I think that's a good idea also.
All right, and it's not too late to book and plan ahead.
Late, yeah.
All right, Allison, thank you so much. For more tips, check out Allison Umbricht's book, The Mom's Guide to Traveling with Kids. And of course, you can find more info on WTNH.com. It's a pleasure. Thanks again.
You.